They say raw milk is dangerous, full of bacteria, not fit for modern humans. But is that really true? For thousands of years, raw milk was a staple food across cultures. It was traded, revered, even used medicinally in early hospitals. Some cultures even considered it sacred. Today, it's banned or heavily restricted in many countries, not because the milk changed, but because the system around it did. How did something so natural become so controversial? In this video, we'll uncover the full truth about raw milk, what it is, what it contains, why it was demonized, and why many believe it's one of nature's most complete, healing foods. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. Always follow your local laws and speak to a trusted professional before making health decisions. The most common belief? That raw milk is dangerous by default. Let's rewind. In the early 1900s, cities were booming. Poor sanitation and overpopulated slums created a perfect storm. Cows were kept in industrial dairy barns, often in terrible conditions. They were fed waste from distilleries, stood in their own manure, and developed disease. People were drinking raw milk from these diseased animals with no refrigeration and no hygiene standards. Not surprisingly, illness followed, so pasteurization was introduced. It helped reduce contamination. But instead of improving conditions or promoting healthy animal care, the solution became permanent: kill everything in the milk to make it safe. Over time, raw milk was branded as inherently dangerous. But that fear wasn't based on raw milk from healthy, well-cared-for animals. And it was based on milk from sick cows in dirty factories. There's a huge difference. Pasteurized milk is shelf-stable, but raw milk, it's alive. Here's what you'll find in a fresh glass of raw milk from a pasture-raised, grass-fed cow. Enzymes like lactase, which help you digest lactose naturally. These enzymes assist people who are otherwise lactose intolerant, and they're crucial for nutrient assimilation. Probiotics, which support gut bacteria. A diverse microbiome helps reduce inflammation, improve mood via the gut-brain axis, and even boost immune function. Raw milk contains strains like lactobacillus and bifidobacteria that are beneficial to digestion and immunity. Complete proteins, rich in essential amino acids. These proteins contribute to muscle growth, hormone production, brain function, and cellular repair. Casein and whey in raw milk are unprocessed and easily digested in most people. Calcium and phosphorus, in forms the body can readily use. These minerals are essential for bone density, dental health, nerve transmission, and maintaining a steady heartbeat. Healthy fats, including omega-3s and CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. CLA is a unique fat found in grass-fed dairy that may help reduce body fat and inflammation. Omega-3s support brain health, reduce cardiovascular risk, and maintain cell integrity. Fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K2. These are key players in hormone balance, vision, immune strength, bone health, and even mood. K2, in particular, helps shuttle calcium into bones and out of arteries. Each glass of raw milk is a symphony of natural nutrition, alive, intact, and absorbable. Pasteurization kills harmful bacteria, yes, but it also destroys the beneficial ones, alters proteins, damages enzymes, and denatures the very nutrients that make milk a whole food. It turns food into shelf-stable product. So if raw milk is so rich in nutrients, why did we abandon it? Let's follow the money. Pasteurization wasn't just a health solution, it became a business model. It allowed dairy corporations to centralize production, lowering costs and increasing shelf life. Milk could now be processed far from the consumer, stored longer, and sold in bulk. Supermarkets to stock milk for weeks without spoilage. This reduced waste, improved inventory control, and allowed for mass distribution. Regulators to enforce rigid standards that favored industrial-scale producers. These standards are expensive to meet, which pushed small farms out of the market. Big food to process milk byproducts into ultra-processed goods, cheese slices, protein powders, infant formula, and shelf-stable yogurts, with added sugar, gums, and synthetic vitamins. These large-scale operations became highly profitable, but they weren't built on nutrient density. They were built on convenience, control, and long-term storage. Meanwhile, the small farms producing fresh, local, and nutrient-rich raw milk were marginalized. Regulations made it nearly impossible for them to operate. Raw milk was demonized not because it failed people, but because it didn't fit industrial profit models. Let's be clear, not all raw milk is safe. No food is. But modern hygiene and small farm practices make clean, safe raw milk possible. Here's how: pasture-raised cows. These cows aren't confined to feedlots. They graze on clean, open fields and have strong immune systems because of low-stress, natural environments. Grass-fed diets, cows that eat primarily grass, produce milk that's lower in inflammatory omega-6s and higher in beneficial omega-3s, CLA. Sterile milking equipment. Today's small farms use stainless steel machines and maintain strict sanitation protocols. Lines and tanks are cleaned daily to prevent bacterial growth. Cold chain storage. Raw milk is chilled immediately after milking and kept cold during transportation. This reduces bacterial proliferation and preserves freshness. Education and transparency. Most raw milk producers run small operations. They test their milk regularly, invite consumers to visit, and are often more accountable than large anonymous supply chains. Studies show raw milk from small, properly run farms has a low incidence of contamination, sometimes even lower than bagged salad greens or deli meat. Across Europe and parts of the US, people buy raw milk from vending machines or direct farm delivery, and they do so with confidence. Let's zoom in. Your body isn't made of synthetic materials. It's made of cells, proteins, fats, enzymes, energy. And what builds that? Living food. That means food with active enzymes, beneficial bacteria, nutrients in their original unprocessed form. Raw milk is a living food. It can sour and ferment naturally. It's dynamic and complete, not preserved, fortified, or enhanced. Living foods build living bodies. Contrast that with ultra-processed products. They're sterile, lifeless, often filled with binders, stabilizers, and artificial additives that your body doesn't recognize. Raw milk may not be perfect for everyone, but it represents something more: local food, transparency, connection to the land, and nourishment your ancestors would recognize. This isn't about dogma or dietary labels. It's about asking what food truly supports life. Life comes from life. Thanks for watching. If this opened your mind, please like, share, or comment. Subscribe for more truth-based, faceless wellness. No brands, no fear. Just food the way nature intended. See you in the next one.